Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Bitcoin Developers. I am your host, Connor Okus. Glad to be back, glad to be with you. We've got another jam-packed episode for you today. We're bringing some more BDK, Bitcoin Dev Kit love to your screens. I've got a special guest with me, which I'll introduce to you in a second. But it's been a little minute, so like, where are people tuning in from? I like to hear about where you guys are tuning in from. Have you been back and watched some of the previous episodes? ATL. I'll be pulling up on ATL soon, actually. Got some stuff going on with my team, and there's the wonderful tab conf going on in ATL. So if anyone's over there, feel free to shout at me. That's tabconf.com. Nice t-shirt. Yeah, I'm repping the Bedford today. We've got our first home game on Saturday. Kicking off the season. The boys are looking strong in pre-season. My predictions is going to be somewhat of a Space Jam scenario. Like, we've got probably one of the best teams in the division, and nothing but a title win and a promotion is acceptable. So if you're interested in football or soccer, as I know some of you are tuning in from the US, then you can head over to rollbedford.com. We've also got our first meetup that's happening at 12 p.m. UK time, so feel free to come through and spend some sats in our clubhouse. Yeah, go Bedford. We've got Vancouver as well. Shout out to Vancouver, shout out to Seattle. So I'm interested in as well, how is your like Bitcoin developer journey going as well? Have you kind of gotten to a stage where you're just starting to build apps with some of these tools that we've been showing you on these live streams? Are you still like very early on and you're just kind of like perusing the space and trying to figure out where you fit in? Are you new to open source in general, or maybe you're finding it difficult to find your feet? I'd love to hear about people's journeys into open source Bitcoin as well. And we're at about, let me have a look. I think we're at about 350 subscribers on the YouTube and about 195 on the Twitch. So I'm not loving those numbers, if I'm honest with you. I need these live streams to be shared. I need the recordings to be shared. I need subscriptions. I want the numbers to go up. Like, we can't have the best form of money and the developers channel at 350 subscribers. So feel free to share it. Feel free to like it, leave comments, all that good stuff. Oh yeah, that's true. Maybe we should like mint our own shitcoin. Maybe that's what like people need to like be incentivized to watch and share and be a part of this, because that seems to be the way for much of the projects in our space. But we'll try and fight the urge to do that right now. We're not quite desperate for that right now, so we'll fight the urge to do that. So show BitB says already building an app with BDK-RN, so here to learn more. Oh, fantastic. So this might even be a bit novice level for you. You're already in the weeds, but I'm sure like you'll still find some value in this session today. So without further ado, instead of me kind of yapping on, I'll get my guest up on stage with me. We have Bitcoin Zavior with us now. I didn't think the Savior's second coming would be as part of the Bitcoin revolution, but I'm excited for it to take place nonetheless. So how's it going? How you doing?
Hi, Connor. Hi, everybody. So yes, Bitcoin is the true savior, as we all know. It's a very obvious name, not very complicated. So most obvious ever, I would say, because Bitcoin is the savior. Thanks for having me here. It's amazing. It's this channel, right, and the Twitch streams. This have been part of my Bitcoin learning. It's a great honor to be here and to share some of the things that I've been fiddling around with.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you for joining. Super excited to have you here. So yeah, usually with my guests, I just start off by helping the viewers get a bit of understanding of your background and how you basically got into Bitcoin. So do you wanna start there for us? Like, how did you get into Bitcoin, and I guess what excites you about Bitcoin as well?
Sure. So the Bitcoin story, right? Not a very exciting one on my side, but very similar to a lot of us. So I come from a software development background, have worked in a lot of technologies in the past, C++, Java, some of the, when I started off, and then eventually moving on to other technologies, and currently, React and Node.js and things like that. But essentially, I've been a developer for a long time, and did a lot of development in my early, in my childhood as well. I think when I was in graduation at that time, I remember I used to make projects for my seniors for their final submission because it was quite an enjoyable thing to do. So which was so I was into programming and technology for a long time. I've worked in startups as well, and I've worked in a lot of banking projects too. So in the UK, I've worked for most of the major banks actually, and I've worked on the digital side, digital banking, payments, a lot of payment related work. So I'm very familiar with how the payments work in traditional, or rather prehistoric, world, how payments work there. And interesting enough, my introduction to Bitcoin was what intrigued me about Bitcoin was the payments part, really. And because I've worked in payments, I understand, how difficult it is to do a payment-related change, rather, or a project or an application in the traditional world of banking. So, with all those complications, I always thought it was because of security. There is no other way to, secure transactions or something. But when I learned about Bitcoin, I was like very curious, and I explored the Bitcoin nodes and various other things, and I realized that making payments is quite simple in Bitcoin, using your own nodes. And then that prompted me to look into the security aspects, how it all works. So I think that was how I started off learning about Bitcoin, and this was back in 2017 or a bit earlier. So yeah, so I'm not like the OG, but I have been in Bitcoin for some time, I would say. And
Okay.
since then, since that time in 2017, I have done a lot of exploration. I've continued my sort of software career in the traditional fields in the beginning, and so in terms of my development background, so I've really been into product development, developing products for users. So from that perspective, whenever I see technologies and code, I tend to think about how they can be applied in real world applications, not in the sense of use cases, but from a technology perspective. So if I see BDK, for example, I'll try and see how can we make a real world application out of it. And when you do that, you want it to be a mobile app, for example, something like that. Then I'll start thinking about how to do it. So I come from that sort of product development background. And I think that is perhaps what I continue to do. I look at all of these technologies out there, and I look at them from a product development perspective. So yeah, so that's been my journey so far. And in terms of the Bitcoin development that I've done in the past, so one of the major things, I guess I've been fiddling around with lots of projects, but one of the major things that I did about a year ago was I took up LND, and I created a React Native module for it. And why I did that was for the same reasons, as I tried to explain that, I try to make products out of it. And I thought, having Lightning on a mobile in a non-custodial way was very important. And I couldn't really see very easy ways of doing it for product development teams. And at the time, I was exploring LND, and I thought And I thought it would be great if there was something like that available for mobile, and I was attracted to Neutrino at that time. So I endeavored to build a React Native module for LND, which is still available on my GitHub. Partway through the journey, I had already realized that this will not be a practical module due to some performance issues that I found. Because I just feel that LND was not built for lightweight platforms like mobiles, for example, and especially for low configuration and low performance devices. So regardless, I continued with that endeavor because I was learning a lot about React Native Lightning, as well as about engineering modules, right, to make them reusable for other developers, which was, I think, something everybody doesn't get an opportunity to do. So I did that, and that is what led me to working on BDK. And I was really sort of grateful for Spiral to sort of offer me a grant to continue working on that, and that has helped me to focus a lot more. So part of the grant is to work on a number of modules. One of them is LDK, which I need to get to, but I've been busy with BDK so far. So based on all of those things that I've done in the past, I think I was able to look at BDK and try to think of how we can use it in product development, and that led me to think that we need to have modules available for product development teams to readily use them and build their products, and not worry about the engineering aspect and the configuration aspects of BDK or Bitcoin for that matter. And that's why sort of what I like to say is that I want to make rapid Bitcoin application development possible, and I think BDK-RN I'm hoping will be one of those modules that helps product teams to do that. And apart from BDK-RN, I'm also working on a Flutter module for BDK, but that's for that's for another day. That's where we are right now, and yeah.
Awesome. So you definitely got a lot on your plate. And we're gonna dive into what we hope to achieve in this stream. But just before we do, just your favorite thing about Bitcoin.
My favorite thing about Bitcoin is its decentralized aspect, the complete self-sovereign sort of quality that it has, and that it imparts on anybody or any entity that decides to use it in a non-custodial fashion. So it's like it is decentralized, it is self-sovereign, and anybody who engages with Bitcoin in that fashion becomes self-sovereign, by association.
Okay, fantastic. So if people want to, let me I'll try and share my screen here. Was 1 second. Window share here. I guess if people want to follow your work, is Twitter a reasonable place for them to follow you?
Yeah, I think Twitter is the best place. And most people reach me on Twitter. Yeah, so that's the best.
Okay, awesome. And just a quick shout out. We do have these live streams are recorded, and we do upload them to our YouTube channel as well. So feel free to subscribe over here as well. We've got a lot of BDK content, actually, from everything from using BDK on purely Android with Kotlin, to previewing Taproot transactions and learning about BDK from the command line as well. So we've got a plethora of BDK content and a good playlist that we're building up. So yeah, definitely head over here if you're interested to learn about BDK in other ways. So let me close that. Okay, so let's talk a bit about today about BDK and in the context of React Native. I'm sure some of the viewers perhaps would have watched some of our videos in the past and might be familiar with BDK. But just a very quick recap. What is BDK, and what is the kind of React Native library that's going to be using BDK?
So, in the sense that, so with regards to BDK, what we what we have done is, so BDK is literally like a powerhouse, right? It allows us to do amazing things and multiple functionalities, multiple APIs, very granular APIs, to enable whatever use case you have in mind. And with regards to BDK RN, the React Native version of it, the intention is that eventually it should allow you to do all of that, but leave aside the complexities that come with using BDK and Bitcoin as such. So whatever BDK offers plus some more, that is the intention. And so BDK is a Rust a Rust application and a Rust library, and to use it within React Native, you have to go through a bunch of process, and you have to wrap things around. You have to wrap things in native code, configure your React Native module in a certain way. All of those things, are sort of abstracted away in BDK-RN. So for a product development team or a product developer, they purely need to use it as any other React Native module. So they would just add it, yarn add or npm and then you start using the methods. So how this has been built basically is, if people who are familiar with creating React Native modules, they'll know that basically what React Native has is, in terms of architecture, under the hood, it has got an iOS and it's got a Android project structure within them. So it's got both of those projects, and it might have a desktop one as well, but let's focus on the iOS and the Android side. So it's got both of those project structures within it, and all it does is it adds a UI layer on top of it, so that you don't have to write the UI twice. You can write your business logic once as well, and then it will take care of all of the build process for the iOS and Android. And then it has what's called as an RN bridge to communicate on the native side. So what we have done is we have taken that existing structure, and where your native modules would go in a React Native project, that is where the BDK modules will go. And because in a React Native project you're going to have an Android and an iOS project or native modules, the Android BDK module will sit with the rest of the Android native modules, and the iOS one will be with the rest of the iOS native modules. Now, these native modules that we use for Android and iOS, they are the same ones that you'll find on BDK Kotlin and BDK Swift. These are all packaged together in one module. And there are wrappers written around it in native code. So for Android side of things, we will write the code in Kotlin or Java. And if you browse the repository, you'll see that. And in that blog post, I've given sort of a very brief overview of what the key aspects of that code are. So you need to wrap it with a React context module, and then your native code is able to talk to the underlying platform API. And once you've done that, you can call these methods from your UI and from your React Native side of JavaScript, and the underlying complexity. And once you've done that, it sort of stays behind the scenes. You don't need to do that. You don't have to repeat that. So that's how basically that's the relationship between BDK and BDK-RN. So as you can see, BDK-RN is completely dependent on BDK. It doesn't offer something different than what BDK can offer. So it is a subset, right, of whatever BDK offers, but it just does it in a simplified way, and in a more React Native way, which React Native developers are used to working with.
Okay, fantastic. And you've got this, like you mentioned, you've got this, and that's been shared on the screen now, and this awesome write-up. So if you head over to the blog on Bitcoin Dev bitcoindevkit.org, you can definitely read and learn more. So this feels like because especially if you're either a single developer or a small development team, like the overhead of maintaining two code bases both on Android and iOS is a huge, it can be a huge one. So like a lot of these I guess frameworks or libraries such as React Native and Flutter, which perhaps we'll do a future stream on as well, seem to be like very popular with this demographic of developer. So I'd imagine you envision this being like quite popular for that demographic of developer as well.
Yes, it is. It is very popular purely for that for that reason, Connor. So you don't have to have two separate development teams to build your Android and your iOS application. You don't have to have so many more resources. You can share your business logic, and you can share your UI as well, of course. So it helps you develop applications for multiple platforms quicker, and it's quite a mature technology and a mature framework at this point. When this first started off, there was still skepticism whether it'll work or not, because it was during the times of like Examarine and Iconic and those sort of frameworks, which nobody liked. So when React Native came out, there was a bit of skepticism, but at the moment, it's a very mature framework. You've got a lot of enterprise applications that have been built using React Native as well, and there's a huge community out there that supports React Native. When I started off with React Native, there were a lot of sort of if not a lot, there were quite a few issues, especially when working with hardcore system modules, and especially with cryptography and Bitcoin-related modules. But at the moment, I don't think there are any sort of issues or challenges in using those modules in React Native. It's just as good as any other framework at the moment. And especially in startups, the kind of sort of companies who are always looking at building Bitcoin products, I think this is a great way for them to build products quickly, rather than investing in development teams for iOS and Android. This is a very good way to get your POCs as well as your MVPs out there.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. How are we getting on the chat? Do you have any questions at this point? Does all of that kind of make sense? Because we're about to before that we're gonna outline what we plan to do today. So just to keep you guys engaged, feel free to ask questions at any point during the live stream, and we'll answer them just on the fly. So yeah, before we get started, then do you want to just give the people like a bit of an idea about what we're going to build today?
Right. So what we'll build is we'll build a wallet functionality in our in a brand new React Native app. So we'll see how to add the module to the project, and how we can use the methods in the module, and it'll be a way to explore the API provided by BDK-RN. So I think what we can do is we can go about the journey of creating a mnemonic, and creating a xpriv, which BDK requires. We can also do a descriptor, because BDK-RN allows you to create descriptors, and then using that we could sort of initialize our wallet, and we can receive transactions and see the balance increasing, and perhaps send a transaction as well. So that's something we can get through, and the objective is to sort of go through the API and see how it is to use this module in a real project.
Okay, fantastic. And the library is over at github.com/LTB-lightning/BDK-RN. Someone said, I am in too deep, but enjoying the information. All right, cool. Just take your time with us. Be patient. Hopefully, you get some value out of this. We're going to be going for probably just over an hour. Hopefully, you can take something away from this. One Thunder Biscuit: is BDK-RN intending to offer the same API as BDK Kotlin and BDK Swift, or does it get reshaped on the way?
So it it will offer the same API plus some more.
Cool. Yeah, and if you are a native platform developer, if you are building for Android using Kotlin or on iOS using Swift, there are native language bindings from the BDK project as well, with the majority of the full API suite available in most cases, but more of the API is being exposed in those bindings over time as well. All right, cool. I think that sounds good. I think I'm ready to get started. So let me I'll stop this share and I'll shuffle a few things around, and then we can kind of get started, I think. So let's see here. So I've got a terminal, I've got a code editor, and I need a simulator, I guess. Okay, so let's share this screen. I think this is the one I want. Okay, cool. Am I showing up on your screen? Can everyone see this? Shout at me if not. So yeah, basically all I did, because I knew I was going to be doing a React Native project, I basically just initialized a React Native project from scratch, and it's basically just bare bones. So where do we want to start? I know obviously we're going to need like an emulator to see what is going on the mobile application itself. Do we want to install BDK-RN first, or do we want to get the simulator running first? Where do you think we should start?
So what we can do is you could
before we do that, actually, someone's asking how do we initialize? Okay, so when you want to start a React Native project, you do something as simple as like npx react -native, and then like -native,
let me send
and then
it in
like
chat.
the name of your project.
So this is what you can do. I'll just put it in chat.
Yeah, we'll put it in the chat, but it's very straightforward. It's just literally one step before what we're going to do now. So we'll throw that in the chat for you, and then so yeah, where should we start with running the simulator?
I think let's fire up simulator.
Okay.
And just run this framework this blank app that you have, and let it come up on the simulator, and then we'll add BDK-RN to the project.
Okay, fantastic. So I'll run an iPhone simulator because that seems to work the easiest on my machine. Okay. I do have a bit of React Native JavaScript experience, so if I remember, it's just like npm run iOS. If you want to fire up a
you could.
I'm in the wrong folder actually. So I've created a project called BDK-RN wallet, and then I think I just can fire up a simulator by doing npm run iOS, if I remember.
It should.
Yeah. Let's give it a go and see what happens. Okay, there's a few questions in the chat. How do we initialize? Okay, I think we went through that one. So there's this is how you initialize a basic React Native project. And then how different will this be for native iOS Swift? I think that's an interesting question. Yeah,
it's going to be different. I suppose because when you're doing iOS Swift, you'll be writing your UI in Swift, and you'll be using BDK Swift. But for React Native, you'll be writing your UI and other code in JavaScript and JSX, and using BDK-RN. So it is slightly different, but the flow of the methods in the API will be same. If that helps.
Awesome. Cool. All right. Looks like I'm fired up. I'm using an iPhone 13 by the looks of it, and iOS 15.2. What do I do now?
Right. I think yeah. So you've got the sort of initial app coming up over there. What would be best is in we can go back to the code, and in app.js we could just go ahead and sort of remove everything in app, the app function, and we could start from scratch over there and add our own code in our own sort of
cool
UI elements.
So we've got all of this step one, see your changes, blah blah blah. We'll just get rid of it, I guess. Maybe just from the header, I guess. Let's start there. Maybe we'll keep the scroll view.
Keep the scroll view.
Yeah, we'll keep the scroll
idea. Right, so we got a blank one now. Yeah,
cool. We've got a blank canvas to work from. Cool.
And then I think what we should do is we should go back to the console terminal and add the BDK-RN module.
Okay, cool. So I can use either npm or yarn here.
Yeah, you can use npm or yarn. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna copy the command over in the repo. It should just be something like this. npm install and then git plus. So we're actually, okay, this is an important thing to note. So we're actually installing it from the GitHub repo itself, but typically like npm packages will be installed via the node package manager itself. Is there a reason we're doing it this way?
No, it's just not been published yet. I think we're going to be publishing it shortly.
Cool. All right, that makes sense. Oh, I've got a $sign there by mistake. Okay. Okay, cool. So installing. Yeah, there's two commands. You can use npm. Let's see if npm works, or you can use yarn as well. I see we have to do a pod install after as well, so maybe I'll have to rebuild after as well.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, cool.
I think in the meantime, if you wish, you could add some text elements in the app.js.
Okay, that sounds good. So I guess what do we want text elements for?
So I think we could do a button to create a mnemonic to start with and to display that.
Okay. So we want a button. I guess these have like a. It's been a minute since I've done a React menu. It's like an on press or something, or on click, or
yeah, it's on press.
On press, and then it's going to do something, and then.
So it'll be button, and then on the next line, yeah, that should also do. You could put a color there and a title as well for the title will be displayed on the button. Yeah.
Color. What color do you want to give it? Does it just take a string? Does it?
Yeah, it takes a string, and you can give it a Bitcoin color if you want, and you'll have to give the RGB code for it, the HTML code for it. I've sent that to you in the chat. Yeah, that should also do.
Okay, maybe we can try it, see if orange works. And then button has a title, did you say?
Yeah, title is what will be displayed.
And what title do you want?
Let's say generate mnemonic.
mnemonic. Okay. Let's see if it's finished installing. Okay, we got an error actually. Can't find module BDK-RN. I actually got this yesterday when I tried to use npm. So let me try and use yarn. npm was giving me some errors yesterday actually. Unless you know what this error means.
Not really sure what's going on there, but I would say try the yarn one. Yarn add.
Yeah, let me try yarn. Yarn actually worked for me yesterday. So for anyone who doesn't know, I think yarn is just a different.
I think you need to say yarn add BDK-RN at.
So BDK-RN
at. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, this seems to be being a bit nicer. While that's doing that, we'll go back and add some more UI elements. Okay, so we've got this generate mnemonic thing that's appearing in our header for some reason. Let's see. Okay, and then what else do we want buttons for? So we just make a whole list of them, do you reckon? Or
yeah, what we could do is we could put a little text text element below it, and then we could make a whole list after that.
Okay. Do we want it to have anything in it for now, or just keep it empty?
Let's just keep it empty, and
okay.
That's where we'll put some.
Cool, some state, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's enough for now. We can come back to it. And what we'll do for mnemonic, let's create some state variables for mnemonic.
Okay. Let's see if this is installed. Yeah. Okay, cool. It looks like for some reason npm didn't work, but yarn seems to work. So we've installed BDK-RN now. And I guess to verify that, we can have a look in our package.json, and we should have it as a dependency now. So you'll have BDK-RN as a dependency.
That's great.
Cool. Do you know if I need to rebuild the project again?
Yeah, you need to pod install. Yeah. You're using iOS, so move to the iOS directory.
Okay, cool. So because I'm using iOS, I can cd into the iOS folder and do a pod install. And what is pod install doing?
So there are some specific iOS related pod modules in the specified in the pod file it needs to install. It's very similar to yarn install. So it's just installing iOS specific packages.
Okay, so if we look at the file structure here, we've got you alluded to it earlier. We've got one for like the Android project, one for the iOS one as well. Cool.
And we are in app.js.
Yeah. Okay, looks like the pod installation was complete. So what I'll do is I guess I will close down the simulator very quickly and rebuild it, I guess.
Yeah, just do yarn iOS or npm run iOS again, and it should. You can keep it open as well. It should.
Okay.
But that's okay. It'll just pop up again.
Okay, cool. I don't know where I get that message, but okay. And then while that's firing up, I will go back to my text editor. Okay, so yeah, we were just scaffolding some UI for some buttons and some state and stuff. I think you mentioned just before that to create some state.
Yeah. So I think the mnemonic, we've got a button to generate the mnemonic. Let's have a state variable to store the state in. So just where you've got the const app, where the let's have some state variables there. Const square brackets mnemonic, set mnemonic, use state. Yeah.
Mnemonic and set mnemonic. Oops, this has come up. Okay, so const, and then we have set Mnemonic, and then it's use state, right? It's
use state.
Use state, and use state can just be empty, I think.
Empty, yeah. Like we can keep a blank string in there, yeah.
Okay, cool. Make sure you're running package server in your application. So can I reload?
So let's do, if we go back to the directory, to your terminal.
Yep.
We can do yarn start to start
Okay.
React Native. Yarn start. Yeah, now we can reload the simulator. Reload.
Okay, cool.
And now we'll need to, we'll need to add some imports, I think.
Okay, cool. I'm surprised that doesn't give me auto imports actually. Where do I get use state from again?
Okay, so you'll get use state from React actually. So import, and in curly braces you'll have to give use state.
So can I do use state like that?
Yes, that will do.
Okay, cool. And let's just get our simulator up to make sure no errors. Okay, cool. Yeah. So we're back. So we've got so we've got a few scaffold buttons. We've got some state for a mnemonic that we're going to generate in a second.
Yeah. So what we'll do now is let's continue with the mnemonic journey. So we've got a state variable for mnemonic. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make a call to BDK-RN to generate a mnemonic, and we're gonna trigger that from the button. So we'll need a method that is triggered on the onPress event. So let's make a method for that, and in that method we will be making a call to BDK-RN to generate a mnemonic for us.
Cool. So okay, so we just want a function.
You can actually, you don't have to say that. You can say const and just write the function name directly. Const function name. Get mnemonic, let's say.
Get mnemonic.
Yeah. And this will be an async function. So let's say async.
Async.
And async, and we don't need to give the function name. We can just give an empty braces there, and then arrow after that.
Like that?
And yeah.
Cool.
That's great.
All right, so we have an async function. Cool. Get mnemonic.
So what we'll do now is here. So if you look in this is where you can look at the README on BDK-RN now, and for everyone else who's interested in this, if you look at the README, it'll show you how to use the API.
Let me get that up on screen just quickly as well. 1 second, so people can see that as well. Okay, yeah, here we are.
So the idea is that whenever we call a BDK-RN method, it will return data to you. That will be your output. So if we go down a bit and we look at the generate mnemonic, if we click on that, that's the one we want to use. So it'll show us how to use it. And for mnemonic, right? I mean, people who are familiar with Bitcoin, you can have any amount of entropy, specific amounts of entropy. So you can specify the entropy that you want over here in terms of bits, or you can specify the word length that you want. And if you don't specify anything, it'll just assume a 12-word length or 128-bit entropy. And then it will return some data to you as a response, and that's what will have your actual mnemonic in it.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So what we'll do is, we can. This is what we'll use, the way it shows over here, and we will get the response, which will be our mnemonic, and then we will display it in our text element.
Fantastic. So I guess I can just straight copy that in there like that.
Yeah, you can.
Let's get my simulator up again.
The only thing we'll do is, instead of the response, just make it data in curly braces instead of response, so that it will destructure it automatically to data. It'll save us some time.
Okay.
And
Perfect.
that should work. And then what we'll do is we'll use the set mnemonic to set the data there. And we'll just pass the data to it and it'll set.
And data in this case is just a string with the mnemonic, basically.
That's it, yeah. And then where we are displaying it in the text box at the bottom on line 79.
Yeah.
We can put mnemonic and curly braces there. So when there's a value for it, it'll automatically refresh and display.
Cool. That makes sense. One thing I think we might have missed is have we imported let me get rid of this section. This is kind of annoying. I don't think we need this, do we? We've not imported BDK-RN, have we?
No, we haven't. That's the most important thing, yes.
So it would have errored, but luckily I'm on my A game and I spotted it early, so we'll import it anyway just to avoid that. So I guess it's just import BDK-RN from BDK-RN.
That's
cool. Right. Okay. So yeah. So I have my A6 function that's calling the BDK-RN generate mnemonic, and I'm setting that string, that 12-word mnemonic, in state. And what do I do now?
Well, let's click the button on the simulator, see what happens.
So let's, just to avoid confusion, I'll just comment these out for now, and then generate mnemonic. So nothing happens right now, which makes sense to me because our onPress is not calling anything.
Yes. And now it was get mnemonic, isn't it? We could just use that method name over here on press.
Yeah. Get mnemonic, and it turns word. So we should print a mnemonic now. Let's see what happens. Okay, cool. So we got our mnemonic.
Oh yeah, it printed it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we got it. This is oh yeah. So is this this is a running on test. What network is this running on? Like no one should write down this mnemonic and think they're gonna receive anyone's coins, right?
Yeah. So this is all testnet, and
yeah. Okay.
And you can specify networks, but yeah, it's all testnet by default.
Okay. Cool. Right. So that's lovely. That we have our mnemonic in a couple of lines of code there. Do we want to store that? Do I need to copy that anywhere, or just?
I was just about to say. Let's copy it so that we could try the restore, or sorry, we can try and reuse it later if we need to.
Okay. So it looks like I can't copy in the simulator. Is there like a copy to clipboard thing on?
No, you'll have to. I think it's a little tricky. You'll have to keep it pressed over there on the word, and it should pop up. It's a little tricky. Double click it or keep it pressed.
Yeah, these emulators are a bit tricky when it comes to like copying stuff. Actually, if anyone knows how to copy text in a simulator, let me know. I can't remember how to do it on iOS.
Yeah, I just keep it pressed actually, and then it pops up.
Yeah, I've got it pressed. As in like right click or just normal press? Yeah, it doesn't seem to be working for me. Maybe if someone in the chat does a Google for how to copy. So it says take a screenshot with Command-Shift-4, then upload it to shady OCR converter site. I don't know if you're joking or not. Okay, well, I guess maybe we move on for now and
yeah, sure, no problem.
Yeah,
because we've got a few more methods to get through, isn't it?
Yeah,
so I think, I think the scaffolding that we've put into place right now is basically the approach we'll take for the rest of the methods. So we have a button which is going to trigger which is going to trigger our method, and we'll have a state variable for any value that we want to display. So we have a mnemonic now. So what we need next is we want to get an xpref, create an xpref from that mnemonic.
Okay.
And we will use that xpref to create a descriptor and then a wallet.
Okay. Got you. What's an xpref?
So it is the private sort of seed, private key seed, and from within BDK it is part of the extended key. So in BDK you create an extended key which has an xpref within it. So that's what it is.
Okay, so this is actually create an extended key.
Yes, create extended key.
Cool. And then I guess the same pattern applies where we have some state and...
Yeah, the same pattern applies. The only thing different will be the method when we call to BDK, it will have some other parameters.
Okay.
And so far we have created a mnemonic, and when it comes to a mnemonic, mnemonic could be for any network. But when you're creating an extended key, that is when you need to specify which network you want that extended key for.
Okay. And what state is coming out of this? Is it just the xpriv, or do I need?
We could say key info. So conf.
Okay, that makes sense. Set key info, and is this a string? Oops, is this a string?
Yeah, we could put a blank string for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
No, actually, don't keep a string. Keep it completely blank because it'll be an just keep it. Let's keep it blank. Yeah, that's it.
Is this because this is gonna return like some kind of object or something?
Yeah, it's gonna return object.
Yeah. Okay.
Then now that we have a state variable to track it, we need a method that will call BDK and create the extended key.
So I guess we'll do create extended key. And is this an async function as well?
It'll be async as well.
Yeah. And so I guess we're gonna get some. Are we getting some data out of this one as well?
Yeah, it'll be the same pattern here too.
Okay. And then BDK-RN, and then if we look at the methods we have a create extended key. Awesome.
Yeah, you can actually look in the document if you want. It'll tell you other things that the method can do. So what you could do is in the API, you can specify the network that you want. We'll of course specify testnet, and that's what it takes by default. And you can specify the mnemonic and the password as well.
Oh, cool. And then it returns a fingerprint, a mnemonic, and an xpriv. Okay, fantastic.
Yeah. It will return the same mnemonic back to you. It's like basically just encapsulated into one object for safekeeping rather.
Okay, so we have a network, and we're going to set this to network.
Actually, you could give a string as
is it just a string?
testnet as well. Lowercase testnet too.
Okay, cool. Let me get this up.
It should be testnet. Yeah, you're missing it.
Thank you. Testnet and mnemonic was the other one.
Yeah, what we want to do is we want to reuse our mnemonic. So we'll specify mnemonic and just copy paste the same. Yeah, colon mnemonic again.
Cool. And do we want a password, passphrase or password?
We can
leave it.
Let's use it. Yeah, why not?
And we just set password to password just for now, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Is that everything we need?
That is everything, yes. The only thing missing now is once we get the response, we need to set it as the key info. So we'll have,
Okay.
after that, we should say set key info.
And set that to the data that's here.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Cool. And then we can just call that in our button now, I guess.
Right.
So
We'll move to the next button. Yeah, that's where we do it. Yeah.
Okay. Create extended key and call that as a function. Cool. All right. So I guess we need to run it from the top again. So we need to generate the mnemonic because that's what's going to be used.
You can also display what we are creating. So you could display the
the key info.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so let's try and run that. So we generate a mnemonic, different one this time, and then we create an extended key, and it's giving us a bit of an error.
What does it say?
It says objects are not valid. I've passed.
Oh yeah.
So I need to destructure it basically.
Yeah, actually, what we could do is we could stringify it if we want to display it. So key info is an object, so we can do JSON stringify and then display. We could do it at the bottom. Yeah, there itself. Yeah, we can.
Okay.
Yeah, that should do it.
Cool. Okay, so one more time, generate a mnemonic, new one, and then create extended key. Cool. So it might be a bit difficult for the viewers to see, but basically we've got an object with a mnemonic on it, 12 words, a fingerprint, and an xpriv. So basically what is shown here, basically. Okay, cool. So we're moving.
Right. So we got an extended key info now, and what we could do with the extended key info is we can go ahead and create a wallet now.
Okay. Create a wallet. So
we could actually, so with the extended key, we'll create a descriptor first.
Yeah. Okay. So we hear a lot about descriptors in BDK. Like, what is the benefit or usefulness of using like descriptors over generating wallets in other ways?
I think it's about standardization, and with multiple types of multiple sort of wallets out there, and we've had these all of these different wallets using different paths all the time. There wasn't any standard way of doing it. So when Bitcoin Core introduced the descriptors, actually I've got a link for it over there. If you go down to the create descriptor one, I've got a link there, I think.
Descriptor.
Do I not? Okay. I have a link over there actually. Probably it's not. So I think when Bitcoin Core introduced descriptors, right, it gave a really good way to represent that wallet, and what it has. So the path, what kind of script hash it is. So for example, you could pay to script you could have a multi-sig, you could have pay to script hash, whether it's SegWit or not, various other things you can represent within that sort of string, and you could create your wallet with that, and the wallet will know exactly what you intend to do.
Okay.
So right now with BDK-RN, with BDK you can create a lot of you can specify your own descriptors as well. But with BDK-RN, you can actually create a descriptor as well. So the extended key info that we have generated, we could send that to create descriptor method. And with create descriptor, you can specify the kind of descriptor you want. If you don't specify, it will create a default one, which would be pay to witness pub key hash script. So that's the default one it will create. But you can specify other ones too. You can specify multi-sig as well.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Cool. So we wanted to create a descriptor first. Okay.
So
And
what
that
we'll
just
do is,
returns a string as well.
yeah, so we are going to use the create descriptor method, and
Mm-hmm.
we already have the extended key. So what we can do is we can just pass it the xpref from the key info.
Got you.
Because
Okay.
if you don't have that, then you'll have to pass the mnemonic and various other things. But
Yeah.
because we have the extended key info, we can call create descriptor, and we can send it the xpref part of the key info.
Okay. Do we need I guess, oh yeah, so we can go back to our button here, I guess.
Yes.
And this would be create descriptor, I guess. Descriptor, I think I've spelled that right. Then we're gonna need some state to hold the actual descriptor that gets returned.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we just call this descriptor.
Yeah.
And then set descriptor, use state, and set it to an empty string. And then a function to create a descriptor.
Yes.
Async again. And it just returns a string, and create descriptor takes our key info, and then it's the xpriv on that, or
yeah, the xpref, but I think it has to be specified in object notation. So you'll have to have a curly brace and say that this is the xpref. XPRV colon. Yeah.
And then we can grab it from key info.
From our state, yeah, from us and dot.
Like that.
Yeah, that's it. We can do question mark dot just in case it's null and we avoid error that way. Yeah, that's better. Xpref.
Yeah, we gotta get TypeScript. We gotta get TypeScript in here.
Yeah.
Okay, no, that's cool. And then I guess we want to set that string. So set the script.
Yeah. So by the way, the BDK-RN is written in TypeScript, but right now we're using Java and JS.
Yeah, so cool.
The script data, yeah.
And then data. Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at your corner, and I really like how quickly you're coding all this and you.
Yeah, I'm actually quite slow coder, to be honest. But the library is so simple to use, it makes me seem like I'm faster than I actually am. All right, cool. So we have create descriptor, we've set descriptor, we've used the xpriv from our key info, and then I guess we want to call create descriptor when we click
and display the output.
Yeah, and then display descriptor, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have to, from the top one more time. So we generate a mnemonic, we create the extended key from that, and then we pull the xpriv from that object that's returned to create a descriptor.
Did we get one? Oh yeah, we got. So we didn't specify which one we want. That's why we got the WPKH one, which is the default one, which is created.
Oh, it's just it's for segue addresses. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And because when we created our extended key info, we specified the network at that time. So the descriptor that we have now, we can just use it, and our wallet will be a testnet wallet.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so we got that. I think now we can actually create the wallet, and we can follow the same approach. A state variable to hold the wallet, and a method to be called when we click a button.
Cool. That fantastic. We've got a nice little pattern going here. So we've got a create wallet. Oh, that's because I've got descriptor. Okay. What gets returned by create wallet?
You get an object back. So we'll
Okay.
we'll do the same as we did for others, and we'll just initialize with empty. We'll not say empty string. Yeah.
Okay.
Set wallet.
Okay, lovely. Let me just go back to the docs again. So just to have a little look at what's going on.
I was just about to suggest that as well. So when we are creating a wallet, we have everything actually. We have a mnemonic, extended key, and a descriptor. But when creating a wallet, you can create it directly with a mnemonic as well, if you wanted to.
Okay.
The
Okay.
API allows that. But we have a descriptor, so we'll use that. If you're specifying a mnemonic, then you can specify a password as well. And
So in this case, if you said it with is that the same as restoring? That's not necessarily the same as restoring.
Yeah. So if we use a mnemonic and we use the same password, then it's like you're restoring it.
Right. Got you. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And we have a use descriptor argument here. So we can pass that as true because we'll be using a descriptor. So we'll send our descriptor and we'll say use descriptor as true.
And in the data, it returns an address to send sats to, I guess, and then the balance. Okay. Cool. That seems pretty straightforward. So let me go back to my text editor
And just
again.
while you're doing that, actually, you can specify a lot of other things as well when you're creating the wallet. For example, you can specify the Bitcoin node that needs to be used. You can specify the kind of node it is. You can specify an Electrum node URL. You can specify a Bitcoin Core URL. You can specify, what kind of database you want to use to store the cache, the wallet cache. The various other parameters are there, and when you don't specify them, it just uses default. So right now, it is going to use the default, the Electrum public testnet URL as our Bitcoin node. But if we wanted, we could have specified our own as well.
Okay, that makes sense. Let me just go back. So if we wanted to, so this would be where, so would it be part of like our blockchain config?
No, it will not be the blockchain config object corner. That's what we do in BDK. Here, you will just specify the URL. So you'll literally pick up the URL, and where it says blockchain config URL, you will just specify the URL there.
Yeah. Okay, got you. Yeah.
And you will need to make sure that it matches the network that you're providing. So once you want to use all of these parameters, you'll want to make sure that the rest of it aligns with it as well.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so this is nice because although you've got all of this optionality, you don't necessarily have to use it. I've only used 2 of the parameters here, and like it's got some sensible defaults already. So okay, does that all seem reasonable? So I've created another function, async function, that's calling create wallet, passing the descriptor and use descriptor as true, and then setting the wallet data in state again. And then I guess we just need to call that function again.
Yes, we do create wallet.
And then I'm gonna have to JSON stringify this again, aren't I? Because it's gonna return them. Okay, that seems like it's gonna work. Let's give it a go. I've got some quotes somewhere that I don't know where. Create. Why has they got those quotes there?
Is because the state variable for wallet, you've used an empty string over there. So if you remove that empty string,
yeah, good shot. Cool. Okay, so let's run it again. So generate mnemonic, create an extended key, create a descriptor, and then create a wallet. So that's blown up a little bit. So let's see what's going on. Create wallet must not be null. Create wallet must not be null. What have I done here? Let's see. Create wallet. Passes the descriptor. Whoops. And use descriptor is true.
Descriptor is true as well. So we've given the descriptor, we've said use descriptor. And what's the error? I can't read it actually. It says
argument 0 of BDK-RN module.create wallet must not be null. Argument 0. What is argument 0?
Mnemonic blockchain.
Mnemonic. Oh, does it?
Should we let's do one thing. So mnemonic will have to be blank because we are saying use descriptor true, isn't it? Is the spelling?
Yeah.
Could you copy the use descriptor as is from there? Maybe there could be something wrong in the spelling of use descriptor.
Yeah. Wouldn't surprise me. Use just to make sure. No, that seems okay. Scriptor.
And click on create wallet again and let's see. That should work actually. Nope, the same thing again.
Still getting there. So maybe we have to actually give it the we have to explicitly give it mnemonic and the rest of the parameters, because I know there's some other stuff that we have to give it.
Actually, I just tried it on another app and I did passed all of this actually to it.
Oh, okay.
Which I made sure the mnemonic was blank. Okay, do one thing. Okay. Make mnemonic and pass a blank mnemonic over there. But that should work, right?
Okay.
Yeah, let's try that. Maybe there's an error in the library.
Okay, so mnemonic will be blank and password will be blank as well.
Let's click on create wallet. I think that should do it. No.
Okay, so maybe we have to give it all of the things, maybe.
And it's still saying the same thing. Yeah, I think yeah, that's what it is. It needs some work, I suppose.
Okay, so let's if I try and give it all the parameters, let's see if that works. So we've got descriptor and everything else is just blank explicitly. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I think there's with all of those parameters, I think there's an issue in the checks probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Okay, that's cool. But in essence, like down the line, you'll be able to just use the two parameters that you want, and then that's cool. That makes sense. So cool. And then we got a wallet as well. We got a wallet. We got a balance of 0 and address of a TB1. Blah 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 blah. So that's good. That's good.
Should I send some test Bitcoin to that address?
Yeah, I need to copy it though. I need to
or console out.
Yeah, let me console out if I'm gonna struggle with copying it. So I guess I'll console.log here, and then I'll just grab it from the console instead. Did that do it?
You'll have to click on create wallet again.
Okay.
And
there we go. I'm going to put this in our private chat.
All right.
If you're in the audience, you feel free to send me some test Bitcoin as well. Like I'm all for that. You can have so typically during like Bitcoin development, when you're on testnet, we have these things called faucets, which I'm not even sure who maintains them, but they allow you to like send and receive test Bitcoin, so you can test out transaction functionality and stuff. So it's also good practice to send those back to the faucet that you received them from as well, just so other people can use them.
So now that we have that, right, I think what we need to do is we have a wallet now, And now what we need to do is we gotta sync it with our Bitcoin node, so that if there are any new transactions, we can find out. So that's the sync method. So that's what we will need to add. And yeah, so let's do the same structure to add a sync method.
Sync. So where is that here? That is that not included in the thing? Maybe
Is it
we
not?
missed that.
Oh, okay.
Maybe we just missed that. Let's just do it. Maybe if I do
Probably.
Okay, no problem. I'm sure we can just grab it directly.
So sync wallet will not have any parameters. You'll just say sync. And
okay. So I can just create another button, and can I? It doesn't have to take any parameters, you say, yeah?
So it'll be sync wallet, and it will not take any parameters, yeah.
So can I grab it straight from BDK-RN and do sync wallet like that?
You could actually do that, and that should work too. But you'll need to have await there, isn't it? Because it's going to take some time to process. Otherwise, you'll be printing a promise there.
Got you. Okay. Okay, so call this one sync wallet. And I guess this is going to be doing some async calling, so we want to like be true. It'd be like we want to set this to maybe like a boolean or something. So while it's
you want to do the loading part? Okay, yeah, you could do that.
Or maybe not actually. Maybe not actually.
It will be very quick. We won't be able to see the difference.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, okay, that's fair. Okay, I'll just do what we've been doing then and sync wallet. And this doesn't take any parameters. And then I guess I haven't set any state for it just yet.
Yeah. And actually, we don't need state as well. What we could also do is, yeah, no, that's fine. Let's do sync, and then we can try and get the new balance again.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So we don't need to store this in a variable. We can just literally call sync.
What I was going to suggest was we can do sync wallet, and after that we can immediately say BDK-RN get balance, so that you get the balance, and then we can show the balance.
In the same function.
In the same, yeah.
Balance.
I've sent you 0.001.
Okay, awesome. So this is going to be. Is this going to be data?
This is going to be it's going to be the same format. It will return an object which will have a data parameter in it, and that data parameter will have a balance in it.
Okay, cool. Have we done anything for balance yet? We haven't.
No, we haven't.
No,
so we make a balance state object.
Yeah. Set balance. Leave that as empty as well. And then we will set balance here using our data, and then we just need somewhere to display the balance.
You could display it under sync here, where you've got line 127.
127.
Yeah, we could delete that and just put balance over there.
Oh yeah. Let me get my emulator up again to balance, and then the only thing is it's generated a new it's it's gonna generate a new.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's gonna generate a new set of addresses, isn't it?
Okay.
I just realized that. So, but okay, well, it's
Do one thing. The faucet won't allow me to use it use it more, but I'll just send you. I sent you the wrong link, I think. I'll just send you a faucet link if you don't have one.
Okay. Let me see. So yeah, it might be good for people to see anyway, to be honest.
Yeah. What did I do with it? It was here just now. Anyway.
There's got to be like a quick way to do the copy to clipboard, but no problem. We've probably got about 10 minutes left anyway, so we'll try and
set to a faucet. We should be able to get the balance and see it.
Yeah. Oh, okay, here we go. Let me show this to the people as well. So this is coinfaucet.eu. Let's see if it actually lets me in. Yeah. Okay, cool. So I'm going to paste my address in there. All right. So I've got to run it from the top again because I can't figure out how to copy and paste yet. Create descriptor, create wallet, and then I printed it to the console, hopefully. Yeah. And I'm gonna copy that one to inside the faucet. I think the Bitcoins, sometimes it does like the make sure you're not a robot type of thing.
Yeah.
But let's see. Oh yeah, recapture. Could not connect to the recapture service. Please check your internet connection. That's annoying. Let's see if I can find another one.
This is another one, actually.
Have you got one? Okay.
Yeah, this is another one.
Not sure if it's because I'm using Brave browser or not. Sometimes it's a bit temperamental. But I will copy testnet address again and paste it in here and 0.001 Bitcoin.
And we just wait. It's a bit slow. It's working.
Yeah, hopefully. Send coins back when you don't need them anymore.
Don't click it again, otherwise it'll stop you.
Okay. Okay, there we go. Yeah, sent 0.0. Cool. Okay, so do I have to wait for?
Yeah, I think you'll have to wait. You'll have to wait a bit, I suppose. No, it'll show. I think it'll show if you click on balance now. It should sync and it should show. It should be in the mempool by now.
Okay, let's see here.
We're doing stringify balance. I think we can remove the stringify, but that's okay. And we've got.
That's the thing. I don't know if it's loading or not now. I did press it, but we don't have any loading state to know.
It doesn't take so long, actually. It's very quick.
Okay. So
send me the address. I'll check on a block explorer if it's been sent.
Oh yeah, let's see. I can just do. Let me use mempool actually. Mempool.space. Oh, it's because I'm on testnet.
Yeah, you've got it.
Yeah.
You've got
it. Looks like it's been. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go back to the code. Let's take a look. I think either it's got it and not. Let's remove the stringify first.
Stringify. Yeah.
And just give it a second to refresh, and then we will click balance again. Yeah. Now click balance, please.
No, okay.
So we'll have to go back to the top and take a look at our code.
Let's see. Oh, am I actually calling? Oh no, I am cool. Oh no, it's because I'm calling BDK-RN sync wallet. That's why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's my fault. I forgot to change that. Yeah, I wasn't actually calling sync wallet from
I see.
the function I was defining.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's
my
click
fault.
on balance now. Let's see. And there you go. So it shows in sats, by the way. So
this is in sats, yeah. Okay.
We follow the sat standard.
Awesome. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, sorry about that little error. Okay, that's amazing though. We were able to basically do a lot of the things anyway. We just received some sats. So we generated mnemonic, create extended key, create descriptor, have a wallet, be able to receive funds to it straight away. That seems like a nice place to kind of actually finish, because we are on the hour mark, and we do like to leave the viewers with some homework to go away and finish. So I guess we can encourage people to do the sending portion of this now, right? Like, so if we look at the rest of the API, what sort of things can people do?
So I think the bit after this is like, once we create a wallet and we are syncing it, the next logical step is to retrieve transactions. And so we could do that. We could get transactions, pending, confirmed transactions, and then of course we could broadcast as well a transaction. So yeah, and once you're doing that, basic, and then you can generate a new address if you wanted to. All of those APIs are already there. And all of these APIs that we have seen, each one has got multiple parameters that you can use depending on your use case. So that's all of that is in a stable state right now. Plus forthcoming, right? There are a lot of other APIs to be added over here. In terms of coin selection, will be added to this very soon. And descriptors, right? We're going to have a lot of other descriptors that you can create. And we are going to add the ability to create descriptors with just the public key if we wanted to. So there are a lot of other, and also with regards to transactions, we're gonna break it up into more granular details. So you could create transaction and sign it later and then broadcast it later. So depending on your use case and user journey, you're able to use it the way you want to. So yeah, all of these things are going to be enhancements coming up shortly. And we're open to ideas. If there's a certain use case you want to implement which requires a certain API, just add an issue over here, and we'll endeavor to implement that API. And also, if everyone's welcome to contribute as well. There are lots of issues here which are good for first which are good as first issues. So do take a look. If you and it's a great way to learn BDK-RN as well as BDK as well as Bitcoin implementing these issues. So yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty awesome. We created half a wallet in under an hour, so like that is something definitely to be excited about. We do have a question. Can you we'll go in about 5 minutes, but can you explain and show the create wallet functionality again, please? Okay, maybe we skipped over that quite quickly. I hope not, but we can look at the API again. Do you want to quickly go over it that again and how it works?
Yeah, sure. So create. I mean, by the way, this video is going to be there on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So please refer back, and I always do that. All these videos I refer back to. So create wallet. There are multiple ways to create a wallet. The most simplest way is you create a mnemonic, and with the mnemonic, you can create a wallet straight away. And the only thing is, when you're creating it with a mnemonic, you have to ensure you provide the network that you want the wallet for as well. Because on Bitcoin, addresses are different depending on the network you're on. So if you're creating with a mnemonic, you got to make sure you specify a network, and you can specify a password as well. But if you do not want to create a wallet with a mnemonic, then you can also create it with a descriptor. So, which is the long way of doing it. If you want to create it with a descriptor, then you'll have to create a descriptor first, and there's a method here to create a descriptor. And when you're creating a descriptor, again, you've got a number of types of descriptors that you can create. Some of them are specified over here that you can specify when you're creating a descriptor. If you don't specify anything, it'll just create a default one for you. So yeah, so there are two ways of creating a wallet broadly. One is using a mnemonic and one is using a descriptor.
Fantastic. All right, cool. Any more questions, guys? I hope you React Native devs out there, or you devs just wanted to make sure you're able to do the cross-platform development thing, found this very helpful. We only really touched the surface and was able to get a lot done in just under an hour, and like that is the goal with the BDK and with the LDK, for you to be able to like integrate and create your wallets and experiment at a rapid pace. What did you call it, Bitcoin Zavior? You said the goal is like rapid
Bitcoin application development.
Exactly, yeah, and we're making the right inroads to that goal. So really appreciate it. All right, let's see this. We've got some football banter, which I like. So, can Connor publicly state that Manchester City will repeat as Premier League champions for the third time this season? Unfortunately, I cannot make that claim because I'm a Manchester United fan. Well, technically, I'm a Royal Bedford fan now first, but my second team is Manchester United, and so it wouldn't be right for me to make that claim. But they are a very good team. I'm looking forward to watching them this season. But yeah, forget the Premier League, forget Manchester's, like Royal Bedford's where it's at. Division 10 of the English Football League is where you should be really spending your time. We're live streaming to 50 plus different countries, so that is where you should be spending your Saturday afternoons if you have nothing better to do. So yeah, without further ado, I don't want to take up too much of your time. Thank you so much for spending this hour and a half with me to learn about more BDK stuff on React Native. Hopefully you guys watching this will spend time experimenting with the library, contributing as well. You can head over to the GitHub on Lightning, LTB Lightning /BDK-RN. Join the BDK Discord channel by clicking the link on the bitcoindevkit.org website. Feel free to ask any of your questions over there. It's a very welcoming community. Will there be an easy... Oh, this is a good one to actually mention, actually. Will there be an easy opportunity for implementation for Flutter Dart developers as well in the future?
Yes, there is. There already is. So where you find the BDK-RN repository, there's a BDK Flutter repository as well. I can't say it is as stable as this particular one, but it is getting there. And yes, so BDK Flutter is also there. And it will, and the objective is to keep the API the same for both BDK-RN and BDK Flutter. So all the methods that you've seen over here, they will work just as they did for BDK-RN. Same parameters, same names, and same return types.
Awesome. Fantastic. All right, cool. Do you want to leave the viewers with any last words before we head out?
Yeah, just one technical point I forgot to mention earlier. So when creating a wallet, I think I get this question a lot on Twitter and elsewhere. Can you create a wallet? Can you create a watch-only wallet with an XPub? So based on what we've seen over here, the descriptor is the only thing that needs to change. If you specify a descriptor which has an XPub in it, it'll create you a watch-only wallet for you. So that's how you would do it. Just in case anybody wants to know, because I get asked that a lot. And in terms of creating a descriptor, we can't create a descriptor with an XPub right now, but if you already have one, you can use it. And shortly, we will be able to create a descriptor with an XPub using BDK-RN as well. So with that out of the way, the only other thing that I wanted to say was, please feel free to comment, contribute, ask any questions about this on BDK Discord, on the GitHub by creating an issues, and also feel free to contribute. And I'll support you with what you're trying to do. Try the module. Let me know if anybody has any issues or if you want any additional functionality, and we'll add that. Apart from that, I would say keep tinkering and keep building on Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin is the savior.
Well, on that note, thank you again for your time. And yeah, I'll catch up with you soon. And to the viewers, I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.
Peace. Thanks, everybody.